What's up, everybody? This is Nick, and you're joining us once again for a Micro Mini Lightning Newscast. We're with news that you can use, and as always, I'm joined by my friend and fellow newscaster.
This is Eric, who was yawning.
And Eric, we have 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
How many minutes was that?
10 minutes.
Okay.
To bring them stories of... Did this episode really do that well that we're doing a part 2 of it? A death cast?
I don't know. I could look that up right now.
No, we don't need to. But we are bringing you stories of death. Stories about people who died. And obviously, we won't be making a lot of jokes about this. We try not to.
Yeah, we make commentary on it, but we mean the utmost respect for all those who have passed. We wish for nothing but well wishes to the surviving of any family who has lost somebody during any tragedy. But we always like to touch on some interesting things that have happened in the world of death, you could say, because, well, weird people die weird ways, right, Nick?
They do. People die weird ways all the time, Eric. So, as always, we have 10 minutes on the guest star, Death Star. 3, 2, 1. Eric, hit us with that first story.
Well, the first story today comes out of... is from the Welsh. I don't know how to say that sentence.
The Welsh.
The Welsh?
Yes.
The Welsh. It seems that a lady, Elizabeth, died in an absolutely devastating way, and it's a very tragic death. And the thing is, it's a very, I want to say European, at least if it's not European, it's very British, right? I mean, that's part of that, isn't it?
British European, yeah.
I mean, like the Welsh area, that's part of Britain, isn't it?
Sure.
I'm sorry, the United Kingdom, I should say. It's part of the United Kingdom.
You know, Eric, let's go with it.
Okay, we'll go with that. Sorry for my geography and not understanding entirely how well the British nation is designed in the United Kingdom. But in Welsh, so this Elizabeth Mary Isherwood died whilst on holiday at her family's timeshare in Wales. That's how you say it, Wales. All right, so here's what happened. And why I say this is very not American, because it has a device in it that I am not was aware that existed. It's called an airing cupboard. And it's a place so you wash your clothes, you dry your clothes to some degree, and then they're still slightly moist. You put them in this cupboard that is heated and air moves through to dry them completely.
So a clothesline.
Well, it's not a clothesline. It's a cupboard. I had to look up what they look like. It looks like a one of those. What do they call it? A cupboard. A
closet.
Like a wardrobe. It kind of looks like a wardrobe.
To Narnia.
Yeah. I don't want to make any jokes, but okay. Let's get to the meat of the story. We'll say Miss Isherwood, also known as Mary. So she checked into this timeshare. Now she had just her and her ex-husband sold this a timeshare, but she had a voucher left over. He said you could have it to his ex, because they apparently still get along to some degree. And so she took this voucher for a stay at a timeshare that they had left over. And she went to a timeshare. Now, normally friends would go with her or somebody, but everyone was busy, unfortunately. And sometime during the night, she must have mistook the airing cupboard for a bathroom, because she crawled into the airing cupboard. Now, I found this interesting because it's like a cupboard that has shelves. She crawled into this. It closed behind her and locked.
Oh, that's scary.
And I guess the Welsh are known for their sturdiness of their airing cupboards, because she couldn't get back out. Like, the knob had come disengaged from the rest of it or something. I read this story a couple times in a couple different sites, and I don't entirely understand airing cupboards, nor their locking mechanism, apparently, nor the strength of a airing cupboard, because she couldn't get back out. Now, airing cupboards apparently have water running within them, or some pipes near them, but she pulled a pipe, busted a pipe, causing her to get wet and have water running around her.
Now, could that be possibly to like a steam pipe? for getting steam into this little cupboard?
I am not sure. Well, I don't think you'd want steam because it's a drying cupboard.
Well, that's true.
So I'm not really sure.
If you're Welsh and you could comment on this, can you please describe an airing cupboard?
Yeah, go to facebook.com if you don't know what that place is. That place that watches you constantly and won't let you get away from it because they track you nonstop. So facebook.com, guys. And go there and find this episode if you're not listening to it there already, and give us a comment, or go to Podbean and comment if you,
or Twitter, comment, or
Well, we'll get to all those places later. So she went into there. It closed, and looking at the ones I've looked at, I don't really. They say crawled in. You would have to crawl into this,
right?
Because it has shelves, and so she crawled in, broke a pipe, got wet, and died of hypothermia.
Oh, that's terrible.
That's a crappy way to die.
Well, this honestly, this part of this sounds like a horror movie, and I'm sure that this sounds like a worst nightmare type of scenario where, and from the other thing you told me is like, did she try to? She tried to claw her way out.
Yeah, she took the pipe that was broken, the water pipe and broke off a piece of it and used it to beat through the walls of this. One wall was up against a brick wall. One of the airing cupboard's walls was against a brick wall, so she couldn't get through there. I figured she would know this, like knowing what's around. I don't understand. And then she went through.
Well, it may have been too dark.
Oh, it's got to be pitch black in there. But it went to it went into a brick wall, and so she went through the, I guess, adjacent wall or a wall, maybe the wall on the opposite side, and she got all the way through it, but there was a picture on the other side, and I guess that made her confused. Probably if you've been in there a couple of days, I'm sure she didn't die right away, but if she's in there a day or two, pretty disoriented, and it hit a picture. They said it was on the outside of the airing cupboard. And she must have thought she couldn't get out that way either, and because she was nearly out. And she was found when the caretaker for the timeshare was there working on, because he had heard there was a leak there at the timeshare, obviously, and so he went there to work on it about a week later and found her deceased corpse there. Is there any way for a corpse to be not deceased?
No.
Should I just say corpse then?
Yeah, just
her
corpse.
Deceased body? That didn't sound.
I mean,
the deceased.
That's just, man, that's sad. There's no way to really. I mean, honestly, this is something that, like I said, horror type of scenario, worst nightmare.
It just sounds
being trapped in a enclosed place with no way out.
Yeah, I mean, especially, or even there is a way out and you just don't know it. So yeah, it's pretty much no way out.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's often times in movies they'll lock somebody in a meat locker or something like that, and that's honestly what this.
It just sounds like a horrible way to die.
Yes,
like when I mentioned to you earlier, you were like, "It sounds like foul play." I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to make any like allegations or say anything that I'm like. It just seems too weird, and I'll just leave it at that. Now, speaking of a weird way to die, Nick, we got another story. This one's out of Indonesia.
Okay.
And, those Southeast Asian countries, right? That's Indonesia.
Right.
They've got some pretty unique customs. And they celebrate their dead quite regularly and for multiple days. So it's a pretty interesting thing. An Indonesian man was crushed to death by a coffin of his mother. So in Indonesia, apparently, at some point in the funeral, the pallbearers carry a coffin up a bamboo ladder onto a lakkain, Lakkian, lakkain.
Nailed it.
Lakkain.
Nailed
a
it.
ceremonial funeral tower where the dead are placed before being buried. Yeah, well, so it's a normal thing. So when the men reached the platform, the ladder slipped. So there's a platform at the top where the dead go. The ladder slipped, and the men who were carrying the casket fell several feet to the ground, and the coffin landed on Saman Kondora 40 and trapped some of the other ones. And it eventually, Samen, S-A-M-E-N, Saman, eventually succumbed to his injuries because he got hit in the head by the coffin, and he passed as well.
Now, Eric, something I didn't tell you about is that I have seen this video.
You watched this video?
I did watch this video.
I didn't mention there's a video out there because I wouldn't watch someone die purposely. It's just I've remember back in the day of like torrenting, you didn't know what you were getting.
Yes.
And so you would download something and you're like, "Oh, this is not what I thought it was. This is a video of someone getting their head getting beheaded."
Right.
And after that I was like, I have no reason to ever want to watch anyone die.
Right. Well, this was, I clicked on an article, and now that you've read the whole story, I realized that's what I was watching.
Oh.
I clicked on this article on MSN yesterday, and they had the video attached. And so
I don't like that.
No,
I don't like that.
They blurred out on the video I watched. They blurred out a bunch of it to where I didn't have to see it. Yeah, they cut it off right when the ladder slipped and you saw him start to go down.
Man,
it is horrific to even think about. I mean, because I've carried those. The men are all carrying it, you know,
pallbearer style.
Yeah, at shoulder height, going up this ladder.
So it's a ladder, like a vertical ladder.
Well, it's like a little bridge. It's just up slightly.
So it's like a slanted.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was kind of really confused. So
yeah,
it's okay.
But yeah, and it looks like it just shifts slightly, and everybody just goes down. I mean, it doesn't look like they fall too far, but I mean, it's enough.
Caskets are heavy.
Yeah, caskets are extremely heavy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's just another horrible situation. Just fluke
Well,
thing.
they said that the ladder wasn't properly attached to the Cayenne, and that's what happened. And the family is not pressing charges, I guess, to whoever builds or maintains that. I am unsure. So, but yeah, they said they're not pressing any charges, and so the son and the mother are now buried side by side.
Well,
Pretty horrible.
that is pretty horrible. Well, my friend, on this depressing note, why don't you tell them where they can find us?
Well, you can find us all over the internet. If you have any comments on this, especially about airing cupboards, because that is something I am unfamiliar with, I would love to know more about them. You can find us on multiple platforms, YouTube and Facebook and iTunes. If you find us on any of those, just search for Pull Up a Chair Podcast. Leave a comment, a like, share it if you can. If you know anything about airing cupboards, definitely, I want to hear it. You can find us on Twitter at Pull Up a Chair Pod. Just tweet us at that, and we'll do our best to reply. Well, we will reply. And where else can you find us? You can find us on our own personal website, pucpodcast.website, puckpodcast.website. And that's pretty much the short and long of it, sir.
Feel free to air your comments at any of those locations about airing cupboards.
Yeah.
Well, my friends, thank you once again. We're sorry that this not an uplifting topic, but have yourself a great day.
All right, bye.
I'm not sorry.